kind of kid who sucks water through the washcloth in the bathtub. Instead of just drinking the water, you have to suck it through the washcloth.
It tastes so much better that way, though. It tastes so much better.
That's the same thing in my brain.
Yeah, but God, I haven't done that.
You got to start bringing it back.
We have to record gold. Gold. This needs to be 100% gold because we only have cool. We don't have time. We don't have a lot of time for tomfoolery.
We have 50 minutes.
50-ish.
The alarm is going to go off, and as soon as that goes off, you just have to.
I have to leave.
Fully leave. I was going to say originally, just lie and tell Jason that, like, oh, sorry, I'm running behind Denver from traffic. You know how it is.
So bad.
But then he also listens to
watches this.
So that'd be a real kick in the nuts to him 3 weeks from now when this comes out.
He's like, oh, Roger was late because he was busy putting up drywall at Russell's house.
Yes.
And then they decided to hurry up and record a podcast real fast.
I think my wife, Lydia's a little annoyed because
we stole her computer that she was playing Sims on and enjoying herself.
Yeah,
she had a great time. She was living life.
Listen, she was playing The Sims, and then I'm like, hey, we need to pod.
Did you know The Sims makes like $32 million a year?
They make a lot of money.
Something I can't remember what it was, but just typical Sims makes $32 million a year, or something insane. I saw that just fly by my algorithm the other day, and I just that's nuts.
Well, I also think
my
she's
wife
annoyed because we could be hanging drywall right now.
We could be. We could be spending this hour hanging up more drywall.
But I'm like,
but we're like, no, but we're two white boys. We have to do this. This is in our culture.
For Lydia's birthday, though, speaking of Sims making a lot of money, I wanted to get her all the Sims 3 expansion packs for her birthday.
No.
And that is
a lot.
It's like $160 or something like that.
That's where they make all of their money.
And The Sims 3 came out 15 years ago. It's still $160 for all of the DLC.
Crazy.
For Sims.
Nuts.
And then I will watch her play The Sims. And I'm like, so, spend almost $200. My brother pitched in, very kind.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, almost $200. What are you doing now? And she's like, well, now, instead of living in a house, I can live in an apartment.
Even
I'm like, okay, do you?
Even smaller.
Do you live in an apartment? She's like, well, no.
No, I live
My favorite part of The Sims is building the houses.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, just knowing that
it's an option.
It's out there. It's an idea of an option.
Oh, my God.
This is Roger.
Hi. Hello.
Roger's been on before.
Once before.
You had a half episode with Cameron.
Yeah, so now I get the full Bubble Boy treatment.
For 45 minutes.
Studio, 45 minutes.
You keep
real
getting
quick.
the short end of the stick.
Hey, Roger, let's do a podcast. Also, can you help me do drywall? I'm the one that offered, but I think it's funnier to think that you brought me down for that.
It took longer than I thought it was going to take.
Yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it goes.
I don't have any of the proper tools. So we're doing a lot of just trying to shave 1/8 of an inch off with
it's
a straight razor.
Yeah. But I feel really good about what we got accomplished.
It's the one
so
wall
snug. It works so well. It was so good. We measure. That's what sucks because I've put up drywall and then just totally botched, and you can't. It's suddenly this huge piece of drywall that you can't fit it anywhere else, and it's garbage. It's absolute trash because you just screwed up the measurement. So the fact that we on our first one we got it so snug and perfect
and it was
in
more
there.
So I think
it's so good.
I think it's our precision was precise. I think the drywall that was left behind was criggly and craggly.
Right.
And so we had to maneuver around that.
Yeah,
We measured for a perfect square and not for a three-dimensional.
An imperfect hole. But still, I feel good. It's quite possibly the manliest thing you and I have done in the last 5 years. Maybe I can't speak for you. I can speak for me. It's by far. I did just take a trunk out of my front yard 2 days ago. That was pretty.
Trunk?
Yeah,
a tree trunk.
Like a tree trunk, yeah.
Not a treasure.
Not a no.
Like
God,
if you didn't tell me.
There's pirate booty in Green Valley Ranch in Denver, out by the DIA. That's where the lizard people are protecting. All of the ghost pirates have been out there burying their treasure, and I found some. Man, it's wild out there. The Illuminati are real. Wow.
I found buried treasure once.
Did you really?
We
haven't even drank our or soda yet,
so
but I want to hear about your buried treasure
we have a reading draft.
Reading draft. Oh, it's got a train on it, dude.
It's got a little train on it. Got a little choo-choo.
I love trains.
Since 1921, it's a blackberry cream. It's an unusual flavor. I haven't had it before. And I picked this for Roger specifically because it was in my fridge, and we had to go, and we had to move.
Got to move. Like the trains.
Much
back
like
in the early 1900s, they had to move. They had to keep going.
Let's see. Are you brave enough to see if it's a twist top?
I mean, I want to. I have this blister from doing yard work. I'll give it a shot. I'm gonna have to do it with my other hand.
There you go. You're going to do it lefty?
I'm going to do a lefty, which, I don't know, I'm all... Because you've had your podcast folks over, and then they just are bad at it, and you make fun
nobody
of them.
knows how to open a bottle for some reason.
I'm at a disadvantage. I just want to...
If you do it left-handed, it feels like someone else is doing it.
Oh, my God. Okay, I'm going to try this now.
Okay.
All right.
Ooh, nice little hiss.
Okay.
All right, let me give it a little...
Wasn't too bad. Reading Draft. It's got a God, I love this.
Keep the bottle. Here you go. Give it a cheers. We'll see how this is.
It's not bad.
That's nice.
It's easy.
That's easy.
It's not as creamy as I thought it would be.
No.
But it definitely tastes like blackberry. It's caffeine free, and I need caffeine right now.
Yeah,
man.
I was looking at it while you were talking earlier, and I'm like, does this have a little juice in it?
I need
no juice.
I'm so exhausted.
Yeah.
I had to go out of my way to get Mountain Dew yesterday and today. I mean, I don't know why Mountain Dew. It just came to me. I was like, I gotta get some Mountain Dew.
It's got the spark. It's got the juice.
It's got that early 2000s oomph to it, nostalgia. I need some of that. Do you know the Mountain Dew song? I've had it stuck in my head.
No.
You don't know the Mountain Dew song?
I don't think so.
My brother Mort, he's shot off and short. He measured just 5'2", 5'2", and he felt like a giant when I gave him a pint of that good old Mountain Dew. Yahoo! You don't know that?
A pint?
Yeah.
Mike Hammock sent me a meme that said, "Yeah, I've got a porn addiction. I'm addicted to pouring myself a glass of mug root beer."
Root beer. I saw that. I should have sent that to you too.
Like, that's been the most relevant meme I've ever seen in my entire life.
That was great.
So I found buried treasure once.
Oh yeah. Tell me about the buried treasure. I want to hear about this.
So looking back, I don't know if this is burying the lead.
Was this gold doubloons kind of buried treasure? Like what era treasure are we talking?
Me and my brother were children. I want to say like 9 and 10-ish, maybe. But my parents had a cabin up in Breckenridge.
Cool.
Because they were well-to-do before the divorce. Sorry, everybody. Lydia was really excited because she's like, "Man, your parents are doing good. You guys got good Christmas gifts. I'm very excited to marry into this kind of."
Oh, yeah.
And then they got divorced as we got married, so Lydia never got.
Oh, she didn't get the full.
She never got
Keller
the full Monty. No.
Oh, no.
But they had a cabin up in Breckenridge, and we were like in the cabin, and my dad started yelling. He's like, "Boys, boys, boys!" And then so we run out. And he's like, I was working like the hot water heater wasn't working right or something like that. So he was like messing with faucets. Okay. I don't know. I don't think they're called faucets. Valves, perhaps. He's like, while I was back here, I found this old book. And it was like an old little leathery, dusty book. And in it had these like handwritten notes. And so we started reading through it, and it was like, "Well, me and Dastardly Dan did it again. Another day, another dollar, another bank. We've just stood up. Boy, me and Dirty Dan," like all those kinds of things. And there's like a lipstick print in the book from whoever his paramour was. But there was clues in the book to like, "Dirty Dan, if you ever find my journal, I buried the treasure, and you'll know where it is based on the clues." And so there was clues that was like, "Oh, we gotta go rent a kayak." Like, so we followed this thing.
This is amazing.
We followed this map, and it took us here.
Suddenly it was Black Bart's Cavern in Casa Bonita is where you guys ended up.
But it was like, I think it was like, there's a lake. Is it called Jordan? But it's up in the mountains, and it was like a town it used to be a town and now it's a lake. Like they
Okay.
dammed it and they flooded it over.
Oh,
So it was like,
yeah.
so we got a kayak and then we went on that lake and then there's like, oh, there's an island in the middle of that. I think that's where the clues are pointing us. So we get there and it's like, look for go 20 paces southeast and find the X. And then we found 2 trees that were like bent over and like across one another to make an X. So we started digging.
Wow.
We found a chest. We open it up, and it's full of, like, all of these old, dirty coins. Like, probably, and looking
Get
back, I think it
out.
was, like, $200. But it was, like, a
Wow.
bunch of old coins.
Yeah.
Um,
This is
It's-
absolutely real. Like you didn't just make this up and just like stage all of this.
looking back at it, I think my dad and mom staged all of this.
That's such
think
magical parenting.
I think they went
is so
through,
cool.
like, extra... Because... Because there was a long time where we're like, we found treasure
yeah, you did.
for a long time. But then as you got older and you start thinking, my dad found a
Leathery book.
diary
Yeah.
of treasure map clues near the hot water heater of our timeshare cabin in Breckenridge. That's where you
Addressed to Dastardly Dan.
found it. Whatever it was. Yeah, and it was like an exact amount of money to where me and my brother could split it 50-50.
Right.
And
exactly
it
down
wasn't
the middle.
$5,000. It was like $200 of coins. So I don't think we've ever said to my mom and dad.
Oh, I'm interested. Oh my god.
I don't think we've. I think everyone knows, but I don't think we've said like. So like they've never walked us through. Here's what you did to set up us finding treasure. Because there's 2 trees bent over in an X. I'm like, how did you know?
Right.
And how long ago did you set this up? I really gotta ask them.
You should. But what's funny, if my parents were still alive today, they would just keep going with the bit. They would never ever say that they did it. They were like, "Yeah, no, we found treasure. What are you talking about? We found the thing addressed to Dastardly Dan and everything." They would never admit.
I
that
bet
it
my
was all
mom has
staged.
that somewhere. I gotta find that
Got
journal.
to. And then you can compare handwriting, and
Yeah.
that's when you can say no.
Yeah, so that was it's my parents. They did cool stuff. I mean, that was the coolest thing in the world.
That's
But-
so cool.
The classic move of like, hey, you have a dentist appointment today. We got to take you out of school, and then we drive to Denver and go to a Rockies game. That kind of thing.
That's
I'm so excited to have a kid so that I can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I want to, man.
Where I can be like, Grandma died.
And they're like crying, and then suddenly,
It's
no, we're gonna go see the
Casa Bonita
Broncos. Yeah,
reservations,
Casa
yeah.
Bonita. It's like, but what about Grandma? Oh, she's still dead. We're just gonna go to Casa Bonita now.
Unrelated. No, I would never lie to you. Never. That's rude as hell.
Oh my god, have you been to Casa? You went just recently.
I went just recently.
Yeah,
It
what
was
did you think?
the most response I've ever gotten to like an Instagram story was people out of the blue were like, "You have to tell me about Casa Bonita."
Oh, you gotta tell me all about it. Yeah.
Have you not been yet?
I've been 3 times.
Since it's reopened?
I love it. Yeah, but since it's reopened, 'cause we have friends that got a reservation, and then I got one that happened to work out right for my birthday, and then we got another. Then Anna got one right when my brother was coming into town. We were gonna give it up, and I went, but Joe's gonna be here. We gotta go and take. Anna is so sick of it. I can't get enough. I need to go. I would go once a month if allowed. I would go all of the time. I love Casa Bonita so much. I still have in my wallet. I have my video game card that you boop and everything, and I'm building that thing up with as much tickets as I can. And I'm just because the Piano Keys game. I am obsessed with the Piano Keys game at Casa Bonita.
Where they have the giant buttons
Yep,
that you gotta hit.
My highest score I've gotten so far is 97, and I want to break 100 so bad, and I can't seem to break 100. It's driving me nuts. So I need to go back again and just skip everything. Just go straight to Piano Keys.
$5 a play.
Yeah, it is really it's unhealthy. I can't. It's
Your
so
wife's
dumb.
not sick of Casa Bonita. She's sick of the financial burden
Yeah.
you've placed upon your
I'm
household.
spending more money on the Piano Keys game than I am at actual dinner, which is already way too much money for dinner. The food is good. Oh, but I don't know. I don't know.
What
We
if-
sat next
what
to
if-
the volcano this last time. The volcano
Ooh.
was going off. That was awesome.
What have you gotten at Casa Bonita?
I mean, it's just any of the vegan options is what I've
Oh.
like. That's which it's barely. I think it's most like you can get a vegan option But it's much better if you do the vegetarian options. So I think we've just done I don't even remember what it is. I just eat it so fast, and I'm so enamored by everything around me. This is
I gotta go get a balloon animal.
I gotta go. Oh, this person's juggling. This is great. I am literally Cartman in South Park. You're just like, dive, asshole, dive. The
puppet show is starting now.
We gotta go see the puppet. I love the puppet show too. The puppet show is
show.
great. You gotta go see Sorcero. Sorcero's so fun.
We missed Sorcero. The one thing we didn't get to do.
Man, Sorcero is so fun, stupid and lame.
The next show
I love it.
The next show time for that was like 40 minutes after my daughter was like, I really would like to go home now.
Oh no!
So Violet loved it. She was having a great time, and then we got to Black Bart's cave, and she was feeling a little scared.
Okay.
And my wife is like, Violet, if you're feeling scared, you don't have to go in. And I'm like, bump that. Violet, you're a man. My 3-year-old daughter, be a man.
Yeah.
There's nothing scary about Black Bart's cave, so I like kind of made her do it.
Oh no!
And then even as you're going up, Black Bart was standing there, and he's like,
Right.
"Tell me how tough you are." And then it's the scene from SpongeBob.
Right.
It's like, "How tough am I? How tough
No,
am
but
I?
you-
I ate a bowl of nails for breakfast." So everyone has their little thing they say to him, and then it gets to my daughter, and he goes, "How tough are you?" And she just mean mugs him and holds up one fist.
Whoa!
She just.
Yeah. Let me at him. Let me at him.
And he was like, all right, go right ahead. Like, that was the coolest thing. So I'm like, okay, she's definitely not going to be scared. She's fine.
Sure.
And then, yes, did she wake up every 30 minutes that night screaming from the night terrors because Daddy forced her to go through Black Bart's cave? 100%. But we had a fun time. She did because she was brave, and she went through. Black Bart gave her one gold doubloon, which was a chocolate coin.
Yeah.
Which I caught her later sucking. She didn't unwrap it.
Oh,
and
she
then
was just
eat
sucking on the
sucking it through the aluminum wrapper.
I did that when I was a kid.
Just letting it melt and like.
But I mean, I have a very specific memory of this as a kid doing that. It tastes so weird and great, and it has there. Yeah, it probably explains a lot why I am the way I am today.
I think that of chewing on the aluminum foil.
Yeah.
From that, and also the kind of kid who sucks water through the washcloth in the bathtub. Instead of just drinking the water, you have to suck it through the washcloth.
It tastes so much better that way, though. It tastes so much better.
That's the same thing in my brain.
Yeah, but God, I haven't done that.
You got to start bringing it back.
I gotta bring it back.
Your wife just gets an Amazon delivery of 20 washcloths.
Roger,
those are mine.
Don't worry about it. And I just run up to the bathroom. Just hyperventilating up the stairs. She comes in. What are you doing? Don't worry about it. I'm doing boy stuff. Leave me alone.
Masturbating to pornography. That's less embarrassing.
It's way less embarrassing.
Sucking washcloths. So when we went to Casa Bonita, I got the enchiladas because they said you could do green sauce, red sauce, or you could get it Christmas style. And I'm like, well, that's whimsical. Surprising, the green sauce was good. The red sauce was too spicy. And I'm like, I don't think I'm a spice wimp. Like I put sriracha, I love buffalo wings. I put Frank's Red Hot on my pizza. I like spicy.
Yeah.
And it was the red sauce at Casa Bonita too spicy.
Too much for you.
Which I'm like, good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them. You think they would tamp it down and make it like white people?
No.
So like my wife got chicken mole, which I'm like, I couldn't imagine 3 years ago. When did Casa Bonita close down? 4 years ago. Casa Bonita is selling mole.
Yeah, I don't think they were doing that before.
I remember the last time we went to Casa Bonita, I was 22, and I got inexplicably, it's a Mexican restaurant that also had chicken fried steak. just the wettest chicken fried steak you've ever had in your life.
Oh, it's
But no, enchiladas were good. The food was good. Sopapillas are better than ever.
What's the spiciest thing you've ever eaten?
I used to work a couple jobs ago. I was a front desk lady, and one of like the facilities guys, who used to make women very uncomfortable, which is unrelated, but he was just always calling women beautiful and stuff. And I didn't like him particularly, but he would bring me trinkets and treats. So I'm like, well, even though you're gross to women, you're nice to me.
That's
so that makes you a
strange.
good person,
Okay.
you know? But
Sure.
he was growing ghost pepper chilies in his like garden. And he's like, eat this. And I went, I really don't want to eat that. And he went, or you are a coward. And I went full Marty McFly and I popped the whole thing in it.
What?
Yeah. And my stomach hurt
Oh, yeah.
for an hour and a half.
Yep.
Which is not great when you're the front desk person. And people are coming in, they're calling, packages are getting delivered, and I'm like, put it over there. I'll sign.
Yeah.
No solicitations, thank you.
No.
I missed like a package getting dropped off because I was in the bathroom with hot snakes because this pepper ripped
that's
me up so
awful.
bad. Yeah. So whatever a ghost pepper is on the Scoville unit, that messed me up for a good while.
Yeah. I'm sure you can just avoid anything that says ghost pepper anything.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, at that point, that makes sense. Spiciest thing I ever had. Have you ever been Firehouse Subs?
Yes.
Yeah, and they have that whole line of hot sauces and stuff. They have something called the Firehouse Challenge. And what they do is they take their hottest sauce, they pour it on your sandwich, and if you can eat that whole sandwich, then you get a free sandwich afterward, and you get your picture on the wall. And I tried, and I got halfway through, and I made the mistake of doing this.
Oh.
And that, I probably could have gotten through it, but because of wiping my eyes like an idiot, that's what did me in.
You didn't watch enough Man versus Food growing up.
No, not at all.
Where he covers that quite extensively.
Yep, don't ever do that. And so I went home and I vomited, but I also just remember sitting in the bathtub with the shower just going on my face for about 45 minutes of me just sitting there in absolute agony, just trying to survive and getting this spice and everything out of my face. Oh, it was the worst. And I didn't get the free sandwich, and I didn't get my picture on the wall, and I'm still upset about it today. I'm very upset about that.
My wife was going to make love to me if I finished the sandwich. Nothing.
Well, I'm getting over a sickness. I was sick all last week. It was so bad.
Like, are you sick?
I don't know what I had, but out of nowhere, I just had this tickle, and then I just got it was during the last concert for Denver Philharmonic Orchestra. I was like,
that's right.
Crap. I was I had a fever the night before, but it broke, and then I somehow managed to go through the concert, mask on and everything, just absolutely miserable. And then, but I managed okay, and I got to the other end, and then I was even worse the next day and the following day. But I still have this cough a week later. But it'll go away. They always does. But that's like the lingering annoyance. Like, I just wanna be done. I feel good everywhere else. I feel good all over. But
how much was a life-size cardboard cutout of a person? How much?
About $75.
Really?
Yeah. That's not too bad.
No, I thought you were going to say $150 or something.
No.
Wow.
75-ish. I think shipping was included because of how much I paid. But
that's cuz I'm at the point in my
for those listening who for the concert, it was our conductor's last concert, and so I surprised him with some context. It's just like hey, how much does a life-size person cost? Yeah, it doesn't matter. But yeah, we surprised him with a cardboard cutout of him because it was his last concert, and to say thank you and also make him laugh and stuff, and it worked. But yeah, about $75-ish.
There was an issue with no one could find a full body picture of him.
Right.
Did you end up someone going to his house and taking a picture of him, or did you end up AIing a...
No, right. I can't figure out that part of AI. It's driving me nuts. Like, all these people can do the image stuff, and it's making me mad that I can't seem... I found some things that work, but I can't get it to do what I need anyway. But it turns out it was just as easy as going to his website and then finding his press photos that he has.
Oh, were you just looking at his personal Facebook?
Yeah, I was looking
at his website.
Yeah, like an actual millennial would do. I'm looking at all the social media, and then I'm all, oh yeah, people have websites whenever they're at a certain professional level, and then lo and behold, he has a full body shot. I'm like, oh, I could have figured this out. I could be done with this 3 weeks ago, but I'm an idiot that's cycling through every single Facebook
No,
post.
I do the same thing with Pikes Punks. If I'm trying
yeah.
to like find headshots from people, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't find anything. And then half the time it's like, oh yeah, they had a website with a tab that says gallery that I
Right.
could have been looking at this
Yeah.
entire time.
But what's
most
so
of the time I go to like InstagramPhotoRipper.com.
Yeah, right, and just doing that. And what people don't understand at our level or what have you is that. They do the website, they do the gallery, and then the image quality that they have uploaded to their website for the gallery is this super low web res. Guys, we need something. You need to give us something super high res, 300 DPI, but people don't get that, and it's so like I don't know. People talking about, oh, here's a class on how to do good marketing, and here's a thing on how to do various like how to do your press kit and stuff, and then lo and behold, it's all garbage. It's like you guys don't even know how to actually do real like the people in Colorado comedy who claim to be experts at certain things are so bad at this and are so dumb. I'm sorry, but most every comedy class out there is a waste of time, and anything like people don't understand the business side of stuff too. Like I don't know. It's so funny to me. Someone was like, "Hey Roger, I'll let you run my show, like give you an opportunity to do this and that." And I said, "Oh yeah, cool, awesome." They said, "Well, and I'll teach you how to use the ticketing." I'm like, I have 10 plus years of ticketing at a much higher level than you've ever done for your comedy show. I know how to do this.
You
but
really
I
have a master's degree in tickets.
I wrote my thesis on ticketing. I know how to do tickets, so I can know how to suss out a secondary ticket broker. Like I could work for Ticketmaster yesterday. I choose not to because they are the devil, and that was part of what my thesis was about. Like I know better about this. I know how to blah, 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 all this crap. Like that's why I'm running an orchestra, guys.
Do you want to run Pikes Punks instead of me and help me sell tickets ever?
Dude, I mean, you use Eventbrite, and that makes me livid, angry. So I get why, but I just hate Eventbrite. I was talking
to Morgan at this weekend because she was talking about the Dude IDK Studios for their shows and stuff. They use something like it's like called like Fanimal or something like that.
Oh yeah,
it has, like,
I've heard of Fanimal.
It has like cheaper ticketing fees, this, that, and the other. They have better like campaign marketing stuff you can build out in it. And I was like, yeah, but I don't think people are going to fanimals.com and Googling. People are going to fanimals.com and searching comedy near me. You go to Google or you go to Eventbrite and type in comedy near me.
Right.
And then Morgan was like, oh, yeah, well, it mostly just comes from like our website directly. I'm like, oh, yeah, because you have like 100,000 Instagram follower kind of thing.
Exactly.
And then you actually have a successful website. So I would rather not use Eventbrite, but that's where people are going to type in comedy near me is on Eventbrite.
Sure. And I think maybe at this level of like the type of show that like Pikes Punks is the right thing to do Eventbrite for. I hate Eventbrite so much.
It sucks.
It's so once you go on the back, it's made for people who don't understand ticketing, and once you have any understanding of what ticketing can be and what it can do, then it's the worst possible ticketing platform you could ever manage. I mean, you and I talked at length about this. This podcast episode is truly just an extension of our weekly meeting that we have where we just
weekly board meeting.
I mean, at the very beginning of all this, it was us trying to actually do a ticketing migration from our 5 CRMs, customer relations management. For those who don't know, that most of you don't know it because you don't get to that level of ticketing, but we understand what that is anyway. The move migrating from our 5 ticketing platforms, our 5 CRMs to the singular one, and that was a big lift, and that was a lot of work, but we knocked it out because we know what we're doing. I mean, you know more so than me in like that respect in that realm. I just get it theoretically, and then but now we just still have it's our CRM Dirty Deets meeting. It's great. Now it's just us shooting the shit.
Just riffing.
It's great. Yeah, it's so
a 30-minute meeting that goes an hour and a half.
Yeah. And we're just making fun of stuff.
But I need a cardboard cutout.
Oh yeah, back to that.
I don't have any merch.
Oh, you need a cardboard cutout of yourself?
Yeah, and I think that would be good merch to sell.
Of
You get it for $75. You sell it for $95. That's a $20
Who would buy
overhead.
that?
Somebody.
I mean, there are weirdos out there that
Yeah.
probably would.
People sell. You get a shirt
God.
that says like the punchline to one of your jokes,
Right.
and then on the back of it it says at your Instagram account.
Yeah.
It's so specific and ugly, and people buy those T-shirts at shows all the time.
Yep.
Why wouldn't they want a full life-size cardboard cutout of me
Someone's. I mean,
for $100?
Yeah.
I make $25.
You gotta go to Rifle, Colorado, and find the drunkest person in the show, and they will probably buy that.
I think if I have one cardboard cutout of me at a time, and I say, "Hey, thank you. That's been my time. My name's Russell Keller. By the way, if you want, I am selling one full-size, life-size cardboard cutout of me
Could be yours.
for $100. I have one.
I have only one.
Yeah,
And then when it gets bought, I will buy another
I'm
one.
gonna get like the. I would save so much more money if I bought these in bulk, but I'm doing it on a one-to-one basis.
God. I mean, that would be pretty brilliant.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty great.
and then it would
God.
just be in people's houses. Like, who says
Yeah.
like, I saw some middling.
Some guy that he wasn't really the opener. I don't know. He was
I saw a C-tier comedian in Colorado
doing a guest set. Wasn't even on the bill.
I think I could get away
could
with
probably-
it. That'd be my merch.
It'd be
is
so
one cardboard cutout. I have to bring
annoying
to so many
take-
shows.
to take it with you everywhere and keep it in pristine condition.
I have to keep borrowing.
God.
I only have like a sedan and a hatchback, so I have to either like keep folding the seats down. I have to take out car seats in order to bring
Right.
this
You have
cardboard
to
cutout
I mean, and
show to
just-
show to show.
I mean, you could fold it up and just. Oh man, what a hassle! I want to surprise you and buy one of you for you. That'd be.
I'll make 100% profit on that.
Yeah, you would. That'd be amazing.
Would that upset you if you bought it for me as a gift and I immediately turned it
Turn
around
and
for
sold it.
profit?
It's like, no, I'd be all about that. That'd be the best.
Yeah, I gotta get a good full body.
Oh man, what's your favorite merch that you've seen someone try to sell?
Try to sell?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen comics bringing the. I mean, I want to say Doug Stanhope did this, but I saw him like taking the Bible from his hotel and it's just like, yeah, I have a book to sell. It's the Bible from.
That's great.
It's the Gideon Bible from the Super 8 that I was at last night. Like I see, and I signed it too. It's like I'm pretty sure Doug Stanhope did that.
That's great. I mean, I love. So like Jeff Tice has his book, his children's book that Violet loves.
Cool.
The 11 Evelyns. Yeah, my daughter loves that,
yeah.
and he signed it for me.
That's great.
So I think that's super creative. Like he has a children's book. Austin Brinker has mushrooms.
God, and that's like the best.
And he
God,
tells me, he's like,
that's-
I take the worst, like, oh, it's 2 hours away and it pays $15. I'll take those shows because
Yeah.
I'll make $150 selling
mushrooms.
shiitakes, Montrells or whatever.
That's
I don't know.
So smart.
Yeah.
And it's even better because that joke he has is so good. I love that joke. I love watching him tell that joke at the South Club, the Comedy Works South Club especially. That is so fun. It's just hearing the audience reaction and knowing where it's going to go, hearing the whole police, and I've heard that story, the police officer stuff, expand and grow over the years too. And man, it's just so rewarding. I'm so happy for him. He gets to do that. What a great way to sell that gig. That's great.
It's the coolest. So like things like that I think are really cool. It always sucks when it's like it's a beer koozie.
Right.
It's like
Good job.
don't with a punchline from one of your jokes on it. That just seems and it's $45. Who's that
what
for?
in the world?
So I don't get that.
Have you ever seen Tim Northern?
Who?
Tim Northern?
No.
I love Tim Northern. He's hilarious. But his merch is a bumper sticker that says Tim Northern is a comedian. And
I like that.
I love that. It's just like, if anyone's wondering who Tim Northern is, well, it says on the bumper sticker is a comedian. That's that way you never forget and you always know. And his website is timnorthernisacomedian.com.
That's fun.
He's
I
hilarious.
like that.
He's great.
I've always
He's a goofy
wanted,
goober.
if I was going to have like merch, I want it to be something that looks cool on its own, and it's almost which kind of defeats the point of having merch. The point of having merch is that it's like a punchline and someone goes, "What's that shirt?" and you tell them about this comedian that you saw. But I kind of would just want like an actual, not clothing line, but just like, no, this is just like a cool shirt. Yeah. Unrelated to my comedy. Like kind of like Austin just sells mushrooms. I'm like, this is a really cool hat. It has nothing to do with me. It doesn't have my Instagram handle on it.
Really
it's
like
just
this hat.
Good clothes. Like, this is a high quality I sell jeans. I don't know. I think I would just want to sell a product.
The hard part about jeans is that you have to have a dressing room for something like jeans.
Nah.
Yeah, you just like buy it off the
measurements.
Rack, no big deal. Yeah, it's
buy
fine.
It off the rack.
Easy.
I have a rack. But yeah, I
just
would
buy a
want
bunch
to
of stuff from Nordstrom Rack and
Yeah.
just bring it to the shows. Like, I'm just selling stuff I got on clearance.
Yeah. Just doing show to show thrift store.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, that's the move. Just like a bunch of weird odds and ends and trinkets and
That's
stuff.
not a bad idea either.
That would be fun.
That's not a
An
bad.
Antiques Roadshow is your.
My brother-in-law he sells stuff on Depop. Do you know what Depop is?
Oh, it sounds familiar. Is that where it's like a resale?
Yeah, it's like Goodwill in an app where
Right.
I can, instead of donating my shirt to Goodwill, I can sell it on Depop for $15 or whatever. A lot of my shirts are from Depop because it's just like cool and wacky, weird stuff you wouldn't find anywhere else. I keep getting different clothes. It might be a band, but I keep getting shirts that say Butthole Surfer on it.
The Butthole Surfers are.
So I really want that shirt. But there's
Just
I got a
imagine your
shirt.
daughter seeing you wearing a Butthole Surfers shirt, and then you have to explain it to her when she can read Butthole Surfers. She's what? How old is she? 4 years old.
4 years old.
She's gonna see you wearing a Butthole Surfers shirt. God, that sounds like a parenting
Sound
nightmare.
it out.
Butthole Surfers.
I got a shirt of Sonic the Hedgehog kissing Barack Obama on the lips.
What?
I really wanted to buy that one.
What?
That's a good shirt.
Oh my god.
So there's cool stuff like that. But I could just, instead of like, hey, Noah, sell that stuff on Depop. Noah, when you find stuff at Goodwill,
Listen to this, Noah.
We could go into business together.
There you go. Before I forget, Anna, I sent the clip of you talking about the Vibes.
Yeah.
Anna and I love the Vibes, and Anna wants to go to a Vibes game with
Please.
you and Violet and Lydia. The whole, like, when we come out this summer, we want to go to a Vibes game with you so
dude,
bad.
I love the Vibes. It's so much fun.
I was mad at Sam Ellison totally not at all into this.
Giving it
about
nothing.
Toasty? Come on, Sam.
Giving it nothing.
Come on. That was it is such a magical thing to go there and see Guy Fieri as a mascot of a baseball team.
So
just
good.
Just going crazy. I mean,
Dude.
and you can meet him. It's so easy to meet him. It's not like
There's
not like
9 people at the ballpark.
and so you can just walk right up to him and you get
say,
to hang
"I'm
out with
your
Toasty. You're
biggest
my
fan."
hero. It's so fun. And there's that big Adirondacks chair with him on there too.
Yeah.
Oh man, I have a good photo of me just like in bliss sitting on that chair. So happy.
I'm glad the Sky
God.
Sox are gone. Who needs them?
Yeah, what?
I want Toasty.
Toasty.
I love
Toasty is
Toasty.
it. He is the best mascot for any sports team, 100%.
During COVID, they were like, because they had just started like a year or two, something like that before COVID hit, and then COVID, now no one could buy baseball tickets, so they were just like selling packed lunches out of the stadium.
Huh.
Because they had like hot dog vendors and this thing, so they
Sure.
were out of like the
Right.
stadium. So I like 2 times drove to the stadium to pick up lunch from the stadium just to keep
That's
Toasty
amazing.
alive. And I got a Toasty bobblehead. They give
what?
you like
You have a Toasty bobblehead and you never told me about this?
I
I'm
gave
looking
it
all
to somebody.
over.
I gave it to somebody. I don't remember
man.
where Toasty is. But yeah, a Toasty bobblehead, and then you'd buy lunch, and then they would give you a s'mores kit to go
Cool.
with it.
Very cool.
So yeah, that was my way of supporting the local community. Was
nice.
whatever millionaire owns
Toasty.
Toasty
and the Vibes.
needed a helping hand during these trying times
Yeah,
of
right.
ours.
Not helping out the Switchbacks, I take it. Who cares?
No.
Switchbacks FC. I haven't gone. I want to go to a Switchbacks FC game because I hear they're way more fun than Rapids games, which is the hat I'm wearing. It's the Rapids.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Flip of the hat. I'm wearing a
Yeah.
hat that says lasagna.
Garfield over here.
Uh,
It's Monday. Oh, hates Mondays. Oh man. Oh boy.
I bought this for my wife at like a thrift store, but I was so greasy from hanging drywall that I just put it on.
Yeah, you just wore your.
But I got it at like a thrift store in Miami. It was $1.
Was that your most recent trip to Miami?
Yeah.
Nice.
And so I went to go purchase it, and I put it down in front of whoever the shopkeep was, and he was like, "What's that?" Like, it's a hat that says lasagna, and he's like, "I know what it is. Is that ours?" And I'm like,
you're actually buying this from us?
"Yeah." And I was like,
What?
"Yes." He's like, "Where did you find that?" I'm like, "I don't know. I assumed this is your store.
Yeah,
I don't
you
know."
work here, don't you?
So I think he thought I brought in a hat and then was trying to buy the hat from him.
Oh no!
But yeah, just a hat that says lasagna. It's a great hat.
Have you seen the Garfield comics? That it's Garfield minus Garfield, and it's just John Arbuckle talking to nobody. God, those
To
are
the
the
void.
best.
Have you ever seen
comics.
the
Those are
comics where
so
it's
good.
Garfield, but he's an eldritch horror creature?
Oh yeah, those
Yeah.
are great.
Yeah.
Those are incredible. It's funny how every other version of Garfield is better than actual Garfield.
He's like, "John, the inner machinations of my mind are beyond your mortal comprehension." He's got like tentacles and 1,000 eyes.
Huge teeth.
Yeah, he's a 4-dimensional creature.
Yeah. Odie is like freaking out.
Yeah.
And oh my god.
There's a whole I can't remember what it's called. There's a whole subreddit that is just those, but it's like SpongeBob, SquarePants,
Oh, yeah.
Powerpuff Girls. It's just all those comics, but what if they were dark eldritch horrors
That's
that
amazing.
your mind can't comprehend?
Oh, I love that so much. Ugh.
Did you ever
There-
play Mass Effect?
I didn't. I
Okay.
watched a little bit of it. I know that that's a really good game, but I heard Mass Effect 3 was a huge letdown or
Yeah, the ending was the game is great. The
Right.
game's amazing. It's just
Right.
like the end of the story is like, it could have had a much better ending, but it was almost like no matter how Seinfeld was going to end,
yeah,
it was never going to live
exactly.
up to what people wanted it to
Right.
be.
It was
that
an
was kind
impossible
of this
task.
where it definitely could have been better by a long shot still, but it was kind of when they give you so many different choices over 3 different games, different
Right.
decisions and choices you can make. Well, realistically, the game developer can't build 1,000 different endings
no,
depending
not
on
at
what if
all.
you made one different choice in Mass Effect 2 versus Mass Effect 3. So we're going to give you a
Right.
whole.
So
So
for the time it was made, that was a programming nightmare that was just impossible.
Right,
It's
and
a hurdle you
we're
couldn't
going to spend
get
hundreds
over.
of thousands of dollars scripting, creating, developing an ending that 4% of people will see.
Right.
Like, it doesn't make any sense statistically for the return on your investment.
Right,
But
no.
it definitely could have been better. All that being said, the main villains throughout the series are called the Reapers, and the first time
Right.
you meet the Reapers, it is that kind of thing of like your mortal mind can't comprehend the inner machinations
man.
of what like your and it's like, oh,
Sounds
my
like the
God.
Borg.
And then you get to the end and it's like, oh, they're janitors. I can comprehend this.
Oh God.
It
That's-
fully like
what
it
a
was
bummer.
this like you think when you hear this line like, oh, we're never, even if we ever defeat them, we're never going to know why they were here. I wish they would have just left it a mystery. But as you discover more, it's literally like, yeah, like an ancient civilization built them as like janitors, and they kind of went like it's like a rogue AI that was supposed to be a janitor, and it's going overboard, so it's cleaning up human life. And you're like, yeah, that was a really cool line for being a janitor. You're lame
Right.
as hell.
Yeah, that's a huge letdown.
Yeah.
I got nothing for that. It's like
it's
I just feel the disappointment.
I
It just
love
so,
those
oh, yeah.
kinds of I like those kinds of enemies or villains in a
Sure.
story where it's like, no, we'll just never know why they were the way they were.
It's much better that way. Not like how the ending of Lost happened when you find out that whatever the smoke monster was actually just the bad dude that was just a person and some demigod.
They fully
and then
Scooby-Dooed it. Where
yeah,
it was just
it was
Old man
it was you
Carruthers.
the whole time? Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. And like everyone was wondering what happened with the polar bears, and the polar bears just happened to be part of just some animal experiment from the Dharma Initiative. It's weird I can pull that out of my ass out of how many 15, 20 years it's been since that happened, and I was obsessed about that show. God, that was, that took over my,
it.
You haven't, okay.
Lydia's explained it to me much like you have, where
Yeah.
it's like, and then there's this thing, and then that's just a man, and then they show you this thing, and that was like, they had like lead poisoning,
right.
and they show you this thing, and he was lactose intolerant. I guess that's what the whole point was. Yeah.
I will say the emotional moments that happened during the show were, I will never forget watching, I think it was Charlie was his name, and he put up his hand that said "Not Penny's Boat," and I just remember just bawling, crying so much, how sad that was, and how heavy of an impact that was when that happened. And like in those moments, I think are worth watching the show, even though it's going to be such a miserable experience at the end. But you think like, well, how else were they going to end this? This was just J.J. Abrams with his little mystery box, and cool, that's a cool story device, but you ultimately can only end with disappointment from something like that unless you take the time yourself to figure out what the mystery box is. It's like, no, I'm gonna sell a whole bill of goods based off a half-baked idea and call that magic. It's like, no, that's being lazy.
Yeah.
That's like, and I don't know. I don't want to start getting into Star Wars because, man, boy, howdy, can I get into Star Wars based off of that launch pad, but I'm going to hold off.
Two things. One, it's the kind of thing with Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was an amazing ride throughout, but then the ending spoils it so much that I will never rewatch. It used to be every new season of Game of Thrones, I rewatched all of the previous seasons to catch up.
Dude.
But then it tanks so bad that I'm like, I'll never watch that show again, knowing how bad it ends. So even if Lost is like, it was really emotional and amazing for you throughout the experience, the fact that it ended the way it did, you're like, I'm not really, I don't know if it's worth the rewatch.
I will defend that the ending of Lost, when you think about it, is like, this was the only way it probably could have, should have ended. And it was just that the hype was built up throughout the show too much to, like, during the time. If I went back to watch it now, I'd say, oh, yeah, okay, like the hype is lowered and I can manage this. Speaking of Game of Thrones, I got to tell you. So, man, I never watched Game of Thrones. I hated Game of Thrones because everyone at my job during lunch break would just talk and talk and talk about Game of Thrones. Every season, every episode, it was every day, because it was a show each week that would come out, but they would obsess every lunch break, every day, about that week's episode and what's going to happen next and all that stuff, and I hated it so much. It was so miserable. However, then the last season happened, and I was just like sitting there like, I can't wait for this show to be over. I'm so excited about this to be ended, and I can't stand this. And then every episode happened, and then slowly everyone got more and more upset every week. Like, why did they do it? And it was a joy to go to lunch again. Just watching, listening everyone be miserable as I had been for the last 3 years, listening to them talk about Game of Thrones. It was the best time of my life, was everyone being upset about how bad Game of Thrones was in that last season. Like, this is the greatest. I want this to keep going. So when everyone talks about like, oh, Game of Thrones was so bad, I'm like, you deserve that. You deserve it, and I hope it gets worse. I like this whole House of the Dragon thing. Like, yeah, I hope that's awful, and I want that to get even worse and worse.
Apparently, it's really good. I won't watch it.
No, and I love that. I love that you won't watch it because that means the people at my job are also not watching it, because that's how upset they were. And I'm like, you deserve this. This is great.
It's crazy to think like Game of Thrones was on the precipice of being Star Wars, of being Lord of the Rings. Like, it was going to be like in the cultural zeitgeist forever. And they bombed it so hard. To go from like bars would sell out seats having Sunday Game of Thrones watch-a-thons, from that to, when was the last time you heard someone talk about Game of Thrones until now talking about how disappointing it is? It was at the peak of the culture, and then to be literally nothing to anyone anymore.
Yep, it's the greatest. Nuts. It's like, I mean, that's what you get for trying to piece together a story that hasn't even been finished by George R.R. Martin, who I also am not, as a Tolkien person, I am not an appreciator of George R.R. Martin, and he because he talked a lot of shit on Tolkien and his writing.
Did
Yeah, he was like, well, what happened to the orcs? How were the orcs created? And I was like, he was saying like Tolkien has all these holes in how his world building, and I think I'm better than Tolkien. I was like, there are tons of information. There's tons of information about exactly what you said isn't in existence. You are not a scholar and paying attention to what Tolkien's works were, who created this whole genre for you, and you're disrespecting him and talking about how great you are, and you can't even finish your book, you idiot. No, absolutely not. I like if he finishes the books and people are like, "Oh yeah, the ending is great." Then I will give the books and everything a chance. But I am like, it's taken him this. He had an entire pandemic where all he had to be was holed up in his house and do nothing except write that book. And what is it? It's 2024, and he hasn't finished his book. Get out of my face. I'm done with him. Game of Thrones is garbage. The books are garbage. I haven't read any of them, but as a principle and as a concept, no, absolutely not. I'm not about Game of Thrones at all. Or George R. R. Martin.
Now that I didn't know this about you, but you saying all this, I'm like, oh, Roger has dressed up as an elf before.
I have, actually. And the alarm goes off. Great, I'm out of here.
I didn't know that about you, but you just saying that told me implicitly that you've dressed up as an elf before.
Not as a Tolkien high elf or anything, but as a Santa Claus elf.
Okay.
As a Santa Claus elf, I dressed up as a Santa Claus elf for kids. Just to not Will Ferrell elf, not Buddy the elf,
sure.
Like just a Santa Claus
regular elf
just a regular Macy's elf,
right? A good, hard-working American elf.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The customer service kind of elf.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the alarm.
That's the alarm. That's gotta be over. We're gonna have to do another one.
We'll do another one.
We'll do another
Don't
one.
worry.
I hope you get a good amount of reels out of this to throw up because. We need the content.
I'm on the edge
of content.
I'm on the edge of going. The reels don't help. I'm not doing.
Oh,
the reels.
but I love the reels.
But then comedians aren't gonna do the podcast
anymore.
If no
probably
reel.
Not.
They don't get a.
They're just
reel out of it.
They're so cute. They're so fun, and I get to. It's just my little daily dose that I get to see throughout the week. It makes me happy.
If I just don't do the subtitles anymore, I think it'll be easier because I spend so much time subtitle, and you AI generate it, but then you have to
edit and
you have to edit it and do.
Yeah.
But I think that's the hardest part about it. That's the time suck, and I do it because I'm like, but the algorithm I think likes subtitles, but also the algorithm's never liked a single thing I've ever posted. So why do I
not yet?
Why do I keep?
But
the algorithm's negging me. It's like, why do I keep bending over backwards for the algorithm?
I'm just
gonna stop
doing. We got to.
I'm just gonna stop doing subtitles.
Yeah.
So sorry, deaf people.
Sorry.
You're going to have to feel the vibrations through your phone to figure out what's going on.
And your mother does ASL interpretation, which is what I find hilarious about that statement. For someone that is related to someone, or like the spawn of someone that takes care of deaf folks, and you're like, sorry, deaf folks, I don't actually give a shit about the Americans with Disabilities
Act
Act
medium,
at all.
Okay, not everything's for everybody, all right?
Yeah.
I have a joke about the School for the Deaf and the Blind.
Oh, yeah, you do.
My mom is a sign language interpreter for deaf people. My dad owns a business called The Blind Man. I've never tied that into anything.
That's hilarious.
But here we are.
Get out. I gotta go.
You gotta go.
Gotta leave. Okay.
I'm gonna talk for 7 more minutes.
You're gonna push this to an hour? we're gonna get an edition of you driving yourself from the airport by my house.
What new riffs
over
I can come up with
just in this hour. Okay. Well, the 7.
I rented this from my wife for an hour. So I'm getting my full hour out of her.
Yeah, you got your and I have to leave. I have to leave. Okay.
Go Oscar Blues.
All right.
Have a lovely show. Have a lovely night.
Thank you.
You want to plug anything?
I'm going to be emceeing for Derek Stroop at the Grove in Lowell, Arkansas, back in my hometown.
That's very fun.
And I'm actually really excited about that.
When's that?
That is the second to last week of June. I'll be in Arkansas hanging out, seeing friends, seeing folks.
I think this will come out right before then.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Cool.
Okay.
Go see Roger in Arkansas.
And go see me in Arkansas. Go woo pig suey. Oh, boy.
I don't like what you said. That was tangentially racist. Go.
I mean, that's pretty much Arkansas. Okay, I'm leaving.
Right,
you have fun
bye.
riffing for 7 minutes. We'll go do more.
Give you that.
Okay, bye.
You get out of here. Say goodbye to my wife and daughter.
Okay, we'll do.
Bye. You have a good night. Well, now it's just us. Roger, I don't actually want to do this, but it's funnier to do it now. All right. Well, Roger's gone. What did you guys think about the episode? Comment down below what you thought your favorite was your favorite quote of the episode. Like, comment, share it with your friends. What are we gonna talk about? Yeah, I'm trying to hang drywall. Bathroom. It's a lot harder than I thought it was. I think I'm just not a man and I don't know what I'm doing. But it's a lot harder than I thought it was. We're trying to finish our bathrooms, kitchen, all that. Trying to get our foster care certification done. And in order to get approved for foster care, they have to do a home inspection. To do a home inspection, you should probably have a bathroom done and finished, and not a hole in the ground that you poop in. So we're getting that finished up, and it's a lot because I don't like to do manual labor. I want to play video games and watch TikToks. I don't want to try my best and cut and bruise and blister these poor little hands of mine. Zoom in on these hands. See how delicate they are. So this is going to come out 2 weeks from now. If I'm still working on this bathroom 2 weeks from now, and any of you do construction, or are handymen and wanna offer aid, or cut me a big fat check, please do any of those things. Please just send me a bunch of money so I can hire someone to do this instead of me. I kind of just want, I don't know if this is how construction contractor guys work, but I kind of just want to get everything broken and get it as far as I can get it and then hire someone to, like, okay, I've done 60 to 70% of the work. I will pay you to finish the last 30%. That way they get less money. I don't know if contractors like to work for less money, but that'd be nice for me. 3 minutes. You guys have any soda recommendations? You have any recommendations of soda I should be drinking? If you do, please let me know. I know people are begging. People are begging for an RC Cola. So, I gotta get RC Cola in here. Royal Crown, I think, Cola. Royal Crest is what we use for milk delivery. It's the best milk out there. It's delicious. I can't drink store-bought milk anymore because it doesn't have the same punch as Royal Crest's premium milk. But I haven't been drinking the milk fast enough. We get 2 gallons of milk a week, and I haven't been drinking the milk fast enough. So we had 3.5 gallons of milk in my fridge this morning for me, my lactose intolerant wife, and a 3.5-year-old. So I've just been crushing milk all day. I have to keep buying things to incentivize me to drink milk. That's what I'm doing. It's definitely not that I like chocolate. I'm getting little chocolate goodies and treaties for myself. No, we have so much milk, I have to buy things that incentivize me to drink milk, like cookies and brownies and cakeys, chocolate bars. I have to eat these things so that I crush milk. Cocoa Pebbles, Cocoa Puffs, Cookie Crunch, Cookie Crisp. So I've just been pounding milk to get through, I don't know if you can give yourself lactose intolerance by drinking too much milk, but I had a doctor when I was younger. Also, I need to schedule a doctor's appointment. I need to get a physical for foster care certification. I got to get that done. But I had a doctor when I was a young man tell me that I drank too much milk and that I need to stop. He's like, you can get poisoned from drinking too much water. Like, too much water can kill you. Not drowning, just like ingesting too much water can hurt you. He's like, you can have too much milk, and I think you're drinking too much milk. And I think I was I think it was like 14 or 15, and I've just never stopped, and I'm never gonna stop. And you can't stop a milkman. That was a big I had an idea for a professional wrestler in high school called the Milkman, and much like Stone Cold Steve Austin would like crush 2 beer cans and chug 'em, and then spit beer everywhere and hit someone with a stunner, and they shoot beer everywhere. I really wanted to have a professional wrestler who would do the same thing with milk, but not like Kurt Angle, where it's like a funny thing. Like, he's a serious guy who crushes milk, smashes milk, not bottles, cartons, smashes onto people's head, hits them, drops them into milk. Like, instead of having thumbtacks on the ground, and then like someone gets spiked and they land on the thumbtacks, they would land in the milk. But I specifically wanted a very hairy man to be the milkman. I wanted like full beard, lot of chest hair. Not one of these smooth wrestlers. I wanted the hairiest guy you can find and make him be the milkman. That way the milk's getting in the beard, it's getting in the chest hair. It's holding. It's not just gliding down his smooth body, it's holding there. Like a sponge. It absorbs. He squelches when you grab him, it squelches. I really wanted to create and manage a professional wrestler named the Milkman. And I think we still can. I think I could make it happen. I know Matt Medina, he knows wrestlers. I could be a manager. I could throw one super kick. And Matt could let me manage a wrestler, and I could turn him into the nation's most popular wrestler. Right behind Cody Rhodes and Joe Hendry. Any professional wrestlers want to come on the podcast? You're also welcome to. I've had comedians. I've had rock stars. Thank you, my brother Forrest. And I've had women. But I have not had a professional wrestler or other mediums, So if you do a cool thing, if you do a cool public speaking thing like professional's, stand up adjacent. It's Pride Month. We could get one drag queen in here, but I'm not huge. I'm not huge on that. Tracy Kellett, friend of the show, last night was telling me how she was at judging. It's June 2nd. Yesterday was June 1st, first day of Pride Month. She was judging a drag contest at a bar. And I believe the drag queen who won did put on what is in the business known as a strap-on and violated a rotisserie chicken in front of a crowd of people. And they're letting these people in libraries or whatever. Letting them in libraries. Yeah. They're not allowed to be in libraries. Anyways, I think that killed the time. I think that's a good place to end it. That's Bubble Boy. Please share the episodes with people, because I'm gonna do this show for a year. And if there's zero traction, I'm gonna stop doing it. But I will do it for 1 year and see how far that gets me. So if you like this and you want this to keep happening, that's on you. That's not on me to make this successful. It's on you to make it successful. And we're halfway through. And it's the same people who listening at the beginning. It's the same people who's listening now. So, get your friends involved, because we got 6 more months to make this thing happen. Or I don't wanna keep doing this. This is a lot of time and effort, and I keep taking the laptop away from my wife, and she can't play The Sims, and it hurts. It hurts her deeply. So share the podcast. That's Bubble Boy. Thank you.